Good evening, I'm John Carter and welcome to Poland Daily. The teachers' strike began on Monday morning and is expected to last for an indefinite period. According to the Polish Teachers' Union, nearly 80% of schools are taking part in the protest. According to data from the Ministry of Education, however, less than half of all schools taking part in the strike. The strike has caused huge problems for parents who must now organise care for their children.
Za nami pierwszy dzień strajku nauczycieli.
Today was the first day of the teachers' strike. There have been announcements stating the school is taking part in a strike on the doors of many schools and kindergartens throughout Poland. Many parents must now organize care for their children. The open question is, how many schools are taking part in the protest? The data from the Ministry of Education differs from the data of the Polish Teachers' Union. The government claims that less than 50% of schools are taking part in the strike. On the other hand, during an interview with Telewizja Republika, the deputy chairman of the Polish Teachers' Union said he hoped all schools would take part in the protest. From the information we have, we can't say exactly how many schools are taking part in the strike. The information is uncertain. We have many departments, 3,000 to be exact, but from the information we have, we can say that between 79 and 100% of the schools are taking part in the protest. If someone wants to politicize our strike, it means this person does not understand the teachers' determination. This is not a strike of the Polish Teachers' Union. It is the strike of all the teachers in Poland. The number of teachers taking part in the strike is higher than the number of members of the Polish Teachers' Union.
Liczba szkół i placówek, które przystąpiły w dniu dzisiejszym do strajku.
The Minister of Education was informed about the number of schools taking part in the strike by the school superintendent, who himself was informed by directors of schools. So, from the information we have, we can say that 48.5% of schools are taking part in the protest, but that data will constantly be changing.
Szkół i placówek.
Jeżeli było takie założenie pana Broniarza.
I heard about a radio interview with the chairman of the Polish Teachers Union, where he said that the strike would start, and he announced this 2 hours before the negotiations. I'm sure many people started to think about his real intentions. Does he really want to reach an agreement? Today, the chairman of the Polish Teachers Union, Stanisław Broniarz, refused to accept another proposition from the government. The proposition offered a rise in the teachers' salaries. Let's not forget that he's responsible for the students.
Przypomnijmy, że strajk nauczycieli jest
The teachers' strike will last for an indefinite period of time. Middle school exams are due to start the day after tomorrow, while 8th grade students' exams are supposed to begin this week.
The Italian Minister of Interior, Matteo Salvini, has announced that he's creating a new political group for the European Parliament elections. Anti-mass immigration parties, such as the Danish People's Party, and True Finns and Alternative for Germany, will join the new group. Fidesz, the party led by Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán, may join the group at a later stage, but will remain within the European People's Party for now.
Nationalist anti-immigration parties plan to join forces following next month's EU parliamentary election in the hope of creating a new bloc to shake up the European Union, officials from 4 groups said today. The initiative was announced at an event organized by Italian Deputy Prime Minister Matteo Salvini.
We are ready to build a future, and I thank the friends with whom we begin this journey that will save Europe. The bureaucrats, the do-gooders and the bankers who have been governing Europe for too long are burying the European dream.
Jörg Meuthen, the chairman of the Alternative for Germany party, revealed that the EU parliamentary bloc has already been named and will initially involve at least 10 parties drawn from the 3 groups that currently house various nationalist forces.
We want to reform the European Union and the European Parliament without destroying them. We want to bring radical change.
On Friday, Hungarian Prime Minister Viktor Orbán called for the beginning of a new Europe as a part of his party's program for the upcoming European parliamentary elections. Orbán said he wanted new leaders who would stop migration into the bloc and condemned the head of the European Commission, Jean-Claude Juncker, for continuing mass migration into Europe.
Take, for example, a certain Jean-Claude Juncker. We thought he was right-wing, and instead we got a bona fide European socialist who has a grave responsibility for Brexit, the migration invasion and the growing conflict between Eastern and Western Europe.
It remains uncertain whether his party Fidesz will leave the European People's Party, but Orban has spoken warmly of Salvini in recent months.
If Europe wanted, it could stop the mass migration into its territory, but the truth is that they do not even try. On the contrary, the present leadership of the Union supports migration, encourages migration, and those who want to stop it, like us or the Italian Minister of Internal Affairs, Matteo Salvini, simply get damned.
Olaszország belügyminisztere, azt pedig egész egyszerűen kiátkozzák.
Whether or not Orban's party joins forces with Salvini, it seems certain that populist anti-mass immigration parties are on the rise before the May European Parliament elections.
The Greek Minister of Migration, Dimitris Vitras, has stated that he believes human trafficking rackets are behind the riots on the Greek-Macedonian border. Hundreds of migrants gathered near the migrant reception centre in Diavata after an internet campaign encouraged them to form a migrant caravan and use force to cross the border into Macedonia.
Yesterday, the majority of the people gathered in an illegal makeshift migrant camp built in the vicinity of the migrant reception centre in Diavata left for organised migrant camps across Greece. The migrants had been battling with police for days, attempting to cross the border into Macedonia and continue into northern Europe. According to eyewitnesses, some of them left voluntarily, while others had to be loaded onto buses with force.
Most of our brothers, most of our relatives, most of the asylums that are collected together here, they are going, half of them inside the camp, half of them go by force, sit it in the bus and take all the asylums to the Athens by force, not by their rights. It's too dangerous for us to live in Greek.
Previously, some of the migrants had vowed to camp out by the border for months if necessary.
We are decide about this. We are come back in. We don't come back into Greece. We decide go to the border. If open, okay. If no open, sit the border. 1 month, 2 months, 3 months, no problem. Better in the border, in the tent. That is better in the camp.
Meanwhile, Turkish authorities have caught around 1,000 migrants trying to cross the border into Greece around the Turkish city of Edirne. The renewed unrest at Europe's southern borders shows that the migration crisis, which started in 2015, is far from over.
Thank you very much for joining us here this evening at Poland Daily. I'm John Carter. Stay tuned after the break for Poland Daily Weather. It's followed by the business, culture, history, and then it's the travel.